So how do I lap the valves back into the casings? I use a lapping paste. It looks like mud, which effectively I think is what it is. It's oil with some very finely graded particles of hard stuff in it. And I apply the lapping compound to the surfaces of the rotor. And I put the rotor into the casing and I turn it, which grinds material from the surfaces that are touching. And the lapping compound is graded. So this is 10 micron lapping compound. In other words, the little bits of hard stuff are 10 microns big, which means that when I have lapped the valve rotor into the casing and it's turning, like this one is, then the gap that remains is 10 microns. Now, this one is nearly right, but I'm not quite happy with it. And what I'm not quite happy with is that the surface here is rubbing, and I can see that because it's got the finish left by the lapping compound. The tapered bearing at the bottom is also rubbing, and I can see that. I can see that the lapping compound has removed the plating down to the metal underneath, the brass underneath. And the surface there is also fitted, which is a separate operation, to fit it to the valve cap, which is there. So why am I not happy? Well, I'm not happy because the bearings support the rotor in two directions. They support it in that direction and in that direction. You can see they support it in that direction by being circular. They support it in the other direction by having these disc-shaped, as you would say perhaps, areas, one there and one there. And you can see that end float bearing, which is what it is shiny, and I can see that it's being ground against the inside of the bearing cap. This one, however, is not shiny, and nor is its partner surface in the bottom of the casing. So I know that there is more than 10 microns gap between that you can see at the bottom of the hole and that disc-shaped area which should be rubbing against it. And so I need to just do a little bit more lapping on this one, which I will do. I will get some lapping compound, apply it to the surface that I need to grind material off, which are the tapered surfaces of the rotor itself and of the long bearing. Put it into the casing, turn it to distribute them to the lapping compound, and then I will use my trusty tool, a pair of smooth face pliers, to pull the rotor into the casing as I rotate it. And that will remove just a little smidge from the tapered surfaces, and it should then bottom out onto that bottom thrust bearing.